play football.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
what's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Trey and my man Bishop, and we got Cornelius who will be rocking with us all week long as he
That's
takes
what's up.
his break from his spring break from teaching to teach us on these sports. What's good, fellas? How y'all doing?
WGO,
What's up with
WGO,
it?
what's going
Thanks for
on? What's
having me
going
on.
on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh, of course, of
What's
course, of
up,
course, of
bro? How
course.
y'all doing on
As
this
as they
Tuesday?
have as they have now coined Cornelius CC Bishop, so that's what the
Oh, they
high
call him
speeds
CC?
that's high speeds has coined Cornelius Bishop. What's
Yes.
good? What's good? What's good? What's good, Dre?
What up, Dre? What up, what up, what up, what up? Yeah. What's going on with y'all, man? Fall in. How y'all doing on this Tuesday, man? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be on the show yesterday. Had some individual technical difficulties yesterday. So, but I'm back. As you can see, I'm here in front of y'all live in the flesh. That's going on. Dre, what's good, man? Yeah, man, had a big weekend this past weekend. So, yeah, Trey, I'm happy to be back on the show this Tuesday morning, man. Let's get it.
So I ask y'all questions, not to divulge to me information or whatever case like that. As we know, we get older in life, and we are forced to start sporting certain items in which we don't want to. So I
That's
asked
what
a
you.
question.
That's where you going this morning, Trey. That's really where
As
you before
I
this
asked a
morning.
question:
Really.
is it what's good? What's good, Key? What's good,
What's
Freddie? What's
going on,
good?
Keith?
How's it
Freddie,
going?
what's up, y'all? Good morning. Good
So
morning.
I
Good morning.
asked you a question, and please feel free to chime in there, Cornelius or CC as the high speeds as W. Glasses or contacts?
There you go.
I'm trying to make the decision because I myself am getting to that point to where I have to wear one or the other. I I I relent to wear either. So I asked the question for everyone out there: glasses or contacts? Which one is
Hold on,
easier?
CC. Before any of y'all answer these questions, right? The reason why he's even coming up with to y'all with this scenario or question is because yesterday,
I'm asking
that's
for
why
a friend.
I
I'm asking
wasn't
for a
on the
friend.
show because of my
Okay,
content. He
Key.
says
Okay, Key.
glasses.
Okay, Key.
Okay, it's because I had glasses first. So when I retired back in 2013, about a year, maybe 9 months before I retired, I had got readers. Like it was time for me. My time had come. You know what I'm saying? I had fought it long enough. You know what I'm saying? I was 42 years old. It was time for me to, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, my eyesight was, starting to leave me. So they gave me readers. Well, almost 10 years later, as we all know, we get older, your eyesight get worse. So I had went from using readers, just to read to next thing I know, I got readers on just looking at everything every day. And the next thing I know, they no longer readers, they're everydays. So I was like, yo, what's going on? So I'm wearing glasses. It's not only that, oh, allergies, yeah, key, and I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna mention something in here in a minute. So I had to go get some other glasses. I had to go get regular glasses. So I had readers and regular glasses because I didn't get the bifocals. I got readers and regular. So I had like two pair of glasses. CC, man, Trey. As the years go on, I done had about 50 pair of glasses. Either I lost them, broke them, sat on them, did something, the dog that chewed them. Something done happened with these damn glasses. So finally, I was like, man, my wife now, she grew up wearing glasses, but now she has LASIK. So I was like, man, maybe I should get LASIK. And she was like, well, maybe I can't see far, so I need mine for distance. Me too. I
See,
feel
I
the
got the
same way.
problems I
I
don't
can't see
want.
far or near. I'm both of them now. I'm at the point where I can't see. Period. If I ain't got them on. But so my wife was like, I told her, I said, well, maybe I should get LASIK or whatever. And then her uncle, he went and got LASIK. Like he's 4 years older than me, but he just went and got LASIK. This is recently, but he still has to wear glasses. So I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they're only good for certain things. Like you can see far, but when it comes to like reading stuff, he still needs readers. So I went ahead and decided to go ahead and get contacts. So I went and got kind of glasses for sure. Been there, bitch, been happens that already. Facts, facts. Thank you, Freddie. So
Nah,
I went ahead and got contacts. Right, I got dailies. I have dailies. And then right before our crossing weekend in Houston, I went and got a pair of monthlies. Excuse me, and they're exactly what you think they are, dailies and monthlies. It's what it is. wear them daily, and then there's one that you can wear every month. You change them out. Well, anyway, first time I've been in this, I feel like it was the first time I had been in the sling. Yeah, but I believe so. The first time I've been in the sling and with my contacts on. So I drove my sling from here to Houston, which is a 3 hour ride. Eyes itching like crazy. Get to Houston, and the pollen was ridiculous in Houston all weekend. Coming to UK with the allergy thing, right? I think the allergies, I think the pollen had a lot to do with it too, because the pollen hit me up there this weekend in Houston. All right, now time to come back from Houston. Same thing. I still got these contacts in. Here we go again. Eyes itching, both of them, and ain't just one, but both of them itching just out of just crazy. Both of my eyes itching. Like, of course, if you have contacts, you can't rub your eye like you want to. Just go crazy with it like you want to, because you got a contact. So you got to kind of like finesse your eye to try to itch it, which is very, very irritating.
Finesse.
Uh,
What you gonna say? Finesse the eye.
so I get all the way back to here, San Antonio. Eyes irritated, whatever. My eyes itching so freaking bad. And mind you, Sunday was Sunday when I came back here. The wind was blowing heavily, real tough out here. It was blowing, going up there too. It was crazy. But anyway, brother, when I get back, I finally take one contact out, and I couldn't get the contact out of my right eye. And for whatever reason, my eye was just so irritated. Come to find out, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's a nurse, so is my wife, but my brother-in-law looked at it and he's like, he wear contacts too. He's like, bro, your eye's infected. And I was like, oh man. So I was supposed to go to the doctor yesterday, get it checked out, and all of this good stuff and whatever. But to make a long story short, that's where he got it from. He's asking because I'm trying. I still, as you can see, I still it's horrible. Keith, thank you. I still wear my glasses or whatever, but the contacts are inconvenient. The only time the contacts are inconvenient is when you want to take a quick nap or whatever, or you accidentally fall asleep. You can't do that with contacts, of course, because you got to take the jokers out. Like I was telling Trey yesterday, you got to take them out because if you fall asleep with them, you find yourself in a big, even bigger predicament. Um, and then by the time you take them out, why you no longer sleeping. So that's the disconvenience of having contacts compared to glasses. But glasses, I'm
So
popping glasses on like
I
I
asked
don't
this
know who.
question. I asked this question. We all been in the service, of course. What would that pose a problem for qualification? M16 or rifle qualification? Like with the because of course if you're in the and if you're in a foxhole and you're firing, you know how the dust tends to kick up and the
Hmm.
weed and stuff like that. Would that pose a problem for firing at we'll say
I would.
marksmanship?
I would probably say yeah. Now knowing them because I was thank God I was fortunate enough I didn't have to wear glasses the whole time I was really in the military. By the time like I said I got mine like about last year,
Hmm.
so I was done with ranges and all of that good stuff. So if I went to the range, I was range safety or something like that. I wasn't necessarily shooting anymore myself or qualifying anymore. But I will say, yeah, I could see that being a difficult problem. Um,
What's going on, Ladonna?
Good
Good
morning,
morning. Good morning.
Madonna. I think the biggest thing is when it comes down to contacts and stuff like that. Yeah, you definitely. For me, it was a lesson learned being in
Mm.
that swing this weekend. You definitely have to protect your eyes.
What was
I need
what?
to have on if I'm gonna have on them contacts, I need to have on something on top of them, which I did. I did have shades on, but I think I need something that like suctions around my eyes so nothing can blow in any type of wind or anything like that. Because
Consistently what would you say your marksman was consistently over your career? You know how we fluctuate sometimes.
oh
Well,
yeah, but I stayed. I think out of my whole career, um,
sharpshooter
yeah, sharpshooter was my thing. I hit expert a couple of times, but I stayed consistent with sharpshooter.
Cornelius,
Mm.
where you at? I don't know what the Navy calls it. I don't know. You know, Army has sharpshooter, marksman, and,
I think
uh,
that's I think
and
that's
expert.
yeah. I think that's universal
The
all around.
the beauty was I only had to do it in boot camp.
Hmm.
Um, as far as that, and I was sharpshooter in boot camp. Never got the expert day.
No,
Uh,
it was.
yeah,
I wonder is it to say because I
37.
like
What was it? 37 out of 40, wasn't it? 37, 38 out of
36,
40.
36 out of 40 depending on what you shot because you know we had the paper targets or
Yeah,
the
it was. Yeah, it depended if the paper or if it was the actual
yeah.
targets that you knocked down. That's right.
Cause
Yeah.
I say that because on here on installation they just had a shooter. You know, as you know, if for those who don't know, I worked in sports with the military, and we just had they had a three gun shoot a competition over the weekend. And so I was
Mhm.
thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder could I had entered that competition and did damage. Like first I started out as a marksman, and that's only because in Korea where we when I was doing it at, I thought I needed glasses because every time I looked through the rear aperture, it was blurry. Like I could not, for the life of me, I could not figure out why this target was blurry looking through the rear aperture. Of course,
Mm.
like a dun
So you
dun.
so it's safe to say that Trey, you had eye problems.
No, it's not just safe to say.
See,
Just
see,
just as
CC,
just
CC,
as I
see, he thought them good old green eyes was gonna get him over all his military career. See,
so what is
Yeah.
happening? What happened
Yeah.
was the rear app, like I said, like a
you gonna
dun
blame
as we call privates, as the privates are called, as a dun. I had the wrong sight aperture up.
Yeah,
I had the one. I had that one that was like this. So I'm looking through. I'm like, okay, look, hey, I'm like this. I'm like, man, you know how you do it? Like,
yeah,
hold on,
yeah.
like, so the whole time I had the wrong aperture up. So I did that the whole year in Korea. I had that they just sent me. I done got glass. Not to talk about the military, but they done gave me glasses when I ain't need
My bad. Well,
glasses.
come on, Madonna, don't do me like that. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Don't
I
do
just
me
said
like
I was like,
that,
yo, what the hell, man? Come to find out, is because I had the wrong sight aperture up. So after
Madonna.
that, I was a problem. If you got in front of me at a certain 250 meters,
Yeah,
it wasn't going to end well for you. So
right.
yeah, I started that. I started with sharpshooter expert. And I finished out kind of with expert for a while. Held on to that,
Mm.
of course, with them. Everyone paper targets. Of course, if you're in the military, you can feel free to speak on it. Them paper targets ain't as easy as you think it is because you
No, it
can't
ain't.
you just can't
I'd
knock
rather be
down
knocked
what
down
you want.
targets better.
You
Yeah, I'd
got
rather
you got
be
to sit.
knocked down targets.
Have you ever
Yeah.
fired and the tire you shot at the 300? Because everyone know that 300 sit there, and you be thinking like, "Yo, it's in my
Yeah.
sights," but you be thinking,
Yeah.
also be thinking like, "This 4 bullets I can save."
Yeah. To hit these other ones. Yeah.
Mm,
But to hit expert, you gotta hit
you
at
only
least
need you
once
only
or twice,
need
I think.
yeah, at least once or twice you got to hit.
Yeah,
But yeah,
to go for the
it's
300 target.
I ain't gonna even hold you. This one time I missed the 50 meter, and I was like, "What the hell?" Look, bro, I missed the 50. What's good,
Oh
Jackie?
my god.
Good morning. Hey,
What
hey,
up, Jackie? What up,
I
Jack?
missed the 50, and like I missed it,
Good
and I'm
morning.
thinking to myself like, what the hell? And so
That's
and now I'm not,
hey, you know what, Trey? I
I'm
laugh at
reluctant to
you, but
shoot
I
at
done
it.
missed it too. I done missed that joke too. I'm like, I never know. And you know how you behind it, you know how you behind it, you sitting behind the weapon and you shoot the 50 and you miss and you go like this. Did I really miss that? You look
Yeah.
beside it. Did I
And
really
then
miss? Like,
and you know what really gets me is a simple fact. I'm standing there, I'm thinking about if the safety is behind me and he thinking like this nigga missed the 50. And you know what? You don't want to shoot at it again.
hey,
But you like that's
the safety standing back there talking about some. He is something else. Give me your gun. He is something else. Give me your weapon. You are something else. You
yeah.
fail. You miss.
So of course,
You
yes,
sorry.
that's it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that might be our little military excerpt for the day, as you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But of course, you know what I'm saying, Bishop, you kind of missed out yesterday, bro. So I will go back through it for a
Yeah,
second
let's do it. Let's do it though.
to
My
talk
bad.
about
My bad.
especially the we won't go back through the NBA yet. We got a little something different from the NBA, but we'll go back to some of the NFL stuff and get your take
Perspective.
on a couple of things, perspective on a
Mm-hmm.
couple of things. Of course, as we stated yesterday, we know that Mr. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, did pass after being on the highway, crossing the highway. I think Cornelius and Ron spoke about it yesterday, saying they believe his vehicle ran out of gas or something like that. He was trying to get across, in which he was hit by a dump truck. Unfortunately,
That
was
was.
pronounced at the scene to be deceased. So of course we have that. I wonder, and I sit up and think about it as I was driving back yesterday, um, coming from work. I was wondering, did he have a good chance to be at minimum the backup? We all know that Mitchell Trubisky did sign with the Pittsburgh
Sorry, right.
Steelers. They already had Mason Rudolph there. He was there
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as well as they was expected to potentially draft Malik. Malik Willis out of Liberty.
Liberty,
So
yeah,
I
was on Liberty.
wonder, did he have a chance to be a backup or even stay on with Pittsburgh once everything would have been said and done? I don't think they would have expected to keep four quarterbacks for the most part. Um,
Mm.
so I asked y'all gentlemen, do y'all think he initially would he had a upside to be to have stayed on the team once
Uh,
everything was said and done?
so for me, real quick, for me, when first of all, may Dwayne Haskins rest in peace. My condolences go out to his parents and all of his friends and family on this tragic loss on Sunday morning. He did, this man is going, this young man, his life has barely started. Is no longer with us on this tragic accident. But to answer your question, um, uh, it's crazy when athletes pass away. Coaches and GMs and things like that come forward and they talk so. Of course, they talk so promising of the individual. Um, and they made it sound as though yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with you. They made it sound as though yesterday that he really had a chance to to be in the quarterback competition between
Mm-hmm.
Trubisky and himself. And we don't know if they were talking about getting on board from Liberty. If that was the case, that would have been, like you said, four different quarterbacks. And I'm of course you can try out all four. But of course, yeah, they would probably cut one. But the way they was talking, Mike Tomlin and everyone else, they said when he came into the locker room, he brightened up the locker room. He's a good guy to be around and all of that good stuff. And that, yeah, that he had an opportunity. Um, we all know he came out of Ohio State. We know he got drafted by the Washington Commanders. He didn't have a great showing in Washington, and then Pittsburgh picked him up. For me, um, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see a great deal or I should say, I didn't see from what I saw of his work. I didn't see him starting anytime soon, in my opinion. I feel like he had some things in which he needed to work on. Um, just like Trey Lance and Jordan Love, I think he was pretty much in that same boat with them. They needed a mentor, someone who's older, who's been in the league, to give them some pointers on these things here and there. Do I think he could play in the league? Definitely, without question. He kind of reminded me a Warren Moon slash Donovan McNabb type build, maybe a little taller than Donovan or whatever, but his type of build. So I feel like he had the ability to definitely play in the league. At the time of his death, I just feel like he wasn't currently at that point ready to be a starter for anyone as of yet. But again, my sincere condolences and that young man and his family, his wife, and all of his family and friends. My sincere condolences and rest in peace.
Yeah, may he rest in heaven. It's like I said yesterday. I think that at minimum he could have been a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a backup on the Pittsburgh Steelers because Trubisky is all right, but Mason Rudolph, we saw what he had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he could have competed for
For the starting
possibly
spot. Mm-hmm.
a look at a starting spot, even
Mm-hmm.
going into the preseason and stuff like that because of what they have at quarterback.
I agree. Of course, I agree. Bishop is yesterday we spoke about, and I was, I was kind of on a hard line about it when we talk about the whole when we talk about the whole when we talk about the whole Debo Samuel situation. And I know
Oh,
you would have been like,
yeah.
yeah. See, look at him, Cornelius. So I did. Cornelius could attest to it. I did keep the same energy in which I talked about for
Tyler
uh
Murray.
Kyler Murray. Like
Okay.
saying, play out your contract.
Right.
You have a contract. You know what I'm saying?
Play it out.
Let's play it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Play
yeah,
out
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
contract.
Thank you. Yeah, your
Play out the
contract. There you go.
contract. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
play out the contract. So
Yeah.
play out the contract. Gronk again. We talked about Gronk yesterday, as Gronk is talked about and said that he will only play for Tampa Bay if he decides to come back.
Told you
My
that.
my energy was, who says you could come back? Like,
Really? Really? That's like saying That's like saying who said Tom can come back. No,
I said that too yesterday.
Oh
Who
my
said you could
God.
come back? Like, who, like, you got to compete. Like, we just not handed you your
You
spot.
don't make
Man.
really. That's like,
Yes,
bro,
yes.
bro.
Compete with who?
You do not make Tom Brady compete, bro. That is
Why not?
that's
See.
like CC. I see Trader woke up drinking some nonsense this morning. CC, I'm
He was
asking.
reckless yesterday.
I know he was. I know he was because I wasn't there. I know he was real reckless. So CC, if you start in a basketball team, right? Say let's say 15 years from 15 years from not from now, but earlier, 15 years earlier. Say you start in a basketball team 15 years earlier, 20 years earlier, and you get to pick anybody on the court. You can pick 5 players already. You can pick 5 people on your team already. And then Michael Jordan said, "Man, hey man, I wouldn't mind playing with you." Is you gonna tell him no? Is you gonna say, "Nah, man"?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
You're not gonna tell the GOAT no, he can't play.
No.
Or you gonna tell him he ain't gonna start?
Hey,
CC,
23, back of the line.
CC, you gonna say he can't start?
No.
Exactly. Come on, Trey. Like Key said, come on, Trey. You don't tell the GOAT. The GOAT, they get that name for a
Right.
reason. You don't tell the GOAT that they can't. Who said you could come back? What? Man, I'll get you fired up out of here. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Man, please. Gronk has earned that.
Back of the line.
Now,
Back of
what
the
I will
line.
say, Trey,
Back of the line, buddy.
you really going to make
No.
Brady exact Kyle? Thank you, Key. Thank you, Kyle Trask. Really,
Hell yeah.
really, of all people,
Yes.
really, seriously,
Yes.
Brady could throw in his sleep and beat Kyle Trask. Really, stop it,
Right.
bro.
No.
Gronk could come play quarterback and win over Kyle Trask, bro. Stop it. Really, but I will say this now. I will say this. Hey, Bishop, Trey missed you as you see. I know, right? Now, what I will say is, now, I'm gonna ask you, CC and Trey as well. Do y'all consider Gronk the GOAT of tight ends?
No.
No, I don't consider him the GOAT. I mean, Shannon Sharp, man. Shannon Sharp for my money
Okay.
as far as the GOAT of
That's
tight
fair.
ends.
That's fair.
Tony Gonzalez up there as well. But Gronk, postseason, yeah, Gronk's that dude, man. Like, nobody name another tight end that impacts games the way that he has in the postseason. Not just getting a first down here and there, but in that red zone, man, he hard to stop.
I know it's
Travis
not.
Kelce.
It's not a. This particular choice is not. Is not a like one amongst people, but I would have even gave. It's unfortunate how things turned out for him. I would have prefer Aaron Hernandez
You would give Aaron Hernandez what?
over Gronk.
Over Gronk?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a team. He'd have been and murdered everybody.
I would. I think
You
Aaron.
wouldn't have a team.
So think about this, right? Let's take this. Let's look at this. Let's not forget Aaron Hernandez carried the Patriots to one of them Super Bowls. It was Aaron Hernandez. It wasn't Gronk. It was Aaron Hernandez.
It was Aaron first. It was Aaron
Yeah,
first.
it was Aaron.
They
So
had
you
a
know,
two-headed monster.
yeah, and that's why I think that there was more of an upside with Aaron Hernandez.
My bad, Key. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. You're right. My bad. May Aaron Hernandez rest in peace.
See, for that comment, he would have came looking for you. That's
You're right. You're right. My bad.
But yeah,
My bad.
I think Aaron Hernandez, of course, not the greatest, but I think Aaron Hernandez in that time, from what
but this is
was
the thing.
saying.
Gronk is surpassed Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, now he has. So let's just keep it real. Like Cornelius said, we're talking about postseason. And I just think in the postseason that Aaron was more of a problem than Gronk was. But like you said, of course he surpassed him or whatever case like that. But I just think in that moment it was Aaron as opposed to Gronk.
Yeah. Aaron was one of those things you would have liked to have seen what he could have done. With the trouble aside, like he was good when he was on the field.
Yeah, he was strapped. I think Aaron was Pitts before Pitts.
Mike Pitts, yeah. I
Aaron, the one who played. They both went to
6'7"
to Florida.
7. Yeah, they both went to Florida. Yeah, both 6'7". Yeah.
Yeah.
Like real talk, when you think about it in college, I think the Miamis and the Floridas are tight end factories. Now I think they're starting to catch up with like the Iowas and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to athletic tight ends, I think Miami, because think about it, all the
The great ones.
Olsons, the Olsen, Pitts, Hernandez,
Yeah.
who else came
Yeah.
out of there? They also produced the problem children too.
They do. They
Kellen
do.
Winslow.
Yep. They
Yeah.
do.
So
Kevin Winslow's. Yep. They do.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, so that's what we talked about. Yeah, but yeah, in any case, back to what you say. Yeah, you gotta uh you gotta get to the back of the line. If late in your career, you gotta start competing. If I gotta look at that, I gotta create a team that's got, and you're late in your career, and we're talking about you're past your prime and you're holding on by threads and, needles and bubble gum and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm on as a GM or whomever. I'm looking at, hey, there's nothing wrong with competition, and if I see that, the man, think about it. Everyone thought that the team was going to be handed to who was that for Seattle when he was there. I can't think of it. Everyone thought the team was. No one expected Russell Wilson to be the starter as a sixth round selection or a fourth round
Mm-hmm.
selection when he got selected, and then there he has it. He became the starter. Has been the starter ever since. So when you have that, you have potential like that. I'm just looking at like, yeah, okay,
What up, baby?
like
Wow.
like he was talking about, Trask has learned at the end of the day under Tom Brady for a couple of years, maybe he's ready to take the helm. And if I can see, if I have someone that's young that's showing me particular promise, because at this point we're going off of what Brady has done.
Right.
And I think at some point you have to stop doing that and look at what it is that he possibly can do and what it is that you have that can do on your roster as well. Maybe not do it as well as Brady, but you got to give him an opportunity. And I think that you can't do that if you continue to hold on to what the past and what Brady does, even though it's good to have him in the
Okay.
building.
So I have a question. I have a question for y'all then. Trey, if you go in that route with it, as far as what Brady hasn't done or what he did in the past, and you saying right
Mm-hmm.
now competition is some what quarterback in Tampa Bay is going to give him a run for his money right now to even to
None,
who do they
none
even have?
currently.
Who are the backups? Who are the backups in Tampa Bay
It's
that
only
could
Trash
actually
right now. I think it's only
right?
Trash right now.
But it's like Brady earned the right to make those moves. And how
But
relevant?
has he?
My question is how relevant would the Bucks even be relevant? Would we even be talking about them right now if Brady didn't go?
So
Facts.
we
Like
we would
Facts.
we would be talking about him, I think, but it just wouldn't be. We're talking about it because Brady's back. That's basically what it is. We would be talking about it for the simple fact that Aaron is going. Now now they have instituted Todd Bowles as the head coach, as opposed to Brian Leftwich, and who everyone has stated that Brian Leftwich deserves a coaching position. And then of course we would be
he
talking
does.
about him. We would be talking about him also additionally because you have because Brady left and he would have been gone. It's like, who do you replace him? What's going to be the upside of him? So, I mean, we're talking about him because of Brady. True enough, Brady has made him relevant at the end of the day. But it's just one of those things in which I think he is getting to that point to where and this is Brady is the topic, but it's getting to the point to where you have to start looking like, okay, just like no different from Ben Roethlisberger. Uh, of course, if he was still playing, we start talking about Ben was declining and he wasn't playing his best. Just no different when we was talking about Eli Manning. He was declining. He wasn't playing the best. And so on and so forth. Over the time, it's time to remove him. Same thing happened to Brady. He just happened to be able to prove that, okay, I still have something left in the tank. And when he left New England.
I think Brady can play as long as he wants to play, just because just because of his pedigree, and you got to admit his leadership skills in the locker room and bringing people together and giving people opportunities. Uh, my personal opinion of what makes Brady so successful is the
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice, the
He
the
does.
the
He
willingness
sacrifices
to
money. Yeah, he does.
right. And it's time as well to get familiar with
Mm-hmm.
receivers. Remember during the pandemic, that was one of the only stories you really heard about as far as him hooking up with the wide receivers when he first got there. Breaking the COVID rules even. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Brady's the type that does what he has to do to get it done, man.
True.
And no
agreed,
other player in the league is doing that.
agreed,
I
agreed.
see Snook. I mean, Steve Cornelius. I see that you have jumped on that same bandwagon with the rest of everybody, and
What's that?
I look at about this Brady thing, and I
Oh,
all my life I had to fight. That's all
oh,
I can
here we
say.
go. Here
All
we
my life I had to fight,
go.
So you just got to give credit where credit is due.
That
and
part.
I
That
do, but I
part.
just think, but how far does that credit go?
It's
Like
long.
how
It
far?
Uh,
goes as far as it goes as far as it can. You got to
Okay.
get that man his credit, man. Get that man his flowers, man. You cannot lie. You
right,
cannot sit there and ignore the fact that this dude has done what he's done and still doing what he's doing at the age in which he's doing it.
right.
You
At the
can't
age that he's
ignore that.
doing.
You can't ignore that.
Remember,
That's just he's doing something that no one like I said when it comes to football, the age in which Tom Brady is, he's 100 years old in football years.
Hmm.
right,
And no one is playing football at the position in which he's playing at that age. No one's doing that and still winning Super
right,
Bowls. Come
Yeah,
on,
let's
bro.
not act
right,
like
Come on, bro.
let's not act like that that the quarterbacks are protected. So it provides longevity for them as
But like
well.
you said, quarterbacks are protected. It ain't just
yes,
him. So he's not. It's not just him. That's you know what I'm saying. It's not just him being protected. They're all being protected. But he's still playing at the level in which he was playing a few years ago.
So
If
yes.
it's not broke, if it's not
I
broke,
was about to
why
ask
fix it? I'm with you,
I
Freddie.
was about to ask, do y'all agree with that statement? If it's not broke, why fix it? Do y'all
I
agree with
totally
that
agree
across
with
the
it.
board?
I totally agree with it, and I'm gonna let CC go right after this. But I totally agree with it because I feel like every single year, right after the Super Bowl, teams go and get rid of the people who they won the Super Bowl with. And right after every single year, and only a couple of teams have come back to repeat. One of those teams is who? The the what? The Patriots.
Yes.
You just I do believe in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why mess with it? That's just like that. That's just like I don't know about y'all, but you know how your mama was with your daddy, and he trying to fix something. Oh, I think I can fix it, baby. I think I got it. I can get it. Your mama like leave it alone. I'll call somebody. No, baby, I got it. Baby, it's working. No, but I feel like I can make it work better. No, baby, leave it alone. Leave it alone. I get somebody here. They gonna fix it. No, baby. Next thing you know, everything broke.
Yeah.
What you break it? What you touch it for? Leave it alone. What you touch it for? That's what I feel like they got. If it ain't broke, leave it alone, bro.
Cornelius, do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh my
I agree
goodness,
with that. Don't
y'all bugging this morning, man. Go
I
ahead,
agree
I'm
with
listening,
that.
sir.
Like so many like he said, so many teams within, and then you have all the free agency and stuff like that. And, it affects your team trying to repeat. But with a guy like Brady, man, people want to go play with him, so people want to stay.
Absolutely.
And so people they'll stick around and play with a Brady. That's why Gronk said
Absolutely.
he'll only play for Tampa Bay. He'll only play with Brady. He doesn't want to go to play with anybody else, and take that chance that hey, we in the light right now. We have a chance to win it all.
Right.
Like and as long as you have a chance to win it all, why would you change that? Why would you change that? It's like you got to try to win it all.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Anthony, to answer your question, it's a little bit of both because we all know offense sell tickets, defense wins
It was ball
championships.
games,
Yeah.
championships. Yep.
Yes.
So when it's all said and done, I believe it's a little bit of both. Tom going to do his part that he's supposed to do, but he's expecting his defense to do their part so he can get back on the field. Because I feel like everybody knows if Tom Brady is in between the numbers and there's time left on the clock, it's a great possibility that you can win the game with time on
Yeah.
between the numbers. So I feel like Tom is looking at. I feel like Tom's like, hey, I'm gonna do my part. Y'all do y'all part, and we can get us this championship. Y'all seen it. He almost did it again this year. They made a comeback and they just fell a little bit short. They fell a little short, but they almost did it again. I'm just saying. Look at Mike Tyson. It's not boxing at his age. Would you get in the ring with him? Right? Nope. I sure wouldn't.
Nope.
Not on you.
Nope.
Not
That's a
on you.
strong one.
Nobody. That dude swing for the fences. He swing for the
Why?
fences.
Why can't you?
Bruh, we're talking about one of the greatest boxers to ever
Right.
grace the ring, bro.
Okay.
Really, the
That's right.
youngest boxer to be a heavyweight champion. What? Are you serious right now, bro? Look, bro, stop. See, I know my limits. I know what I can and can't do. I know what I'm not. What I'm
Yeah.
not about to do is go in here and embarrass myself. That's why you see
Right.
the two little brothers. You see them brothers ain't trying to fight Mike Tyson, bro. Ain't none of them asked to fight Mike Tyson.
Right.
Ain't none of them fight. They picking on basketball players, has been or certain has been boxers and MMA fighters. They ain't picking on. They ain't asked Marvin Hagler. I mean not Marvin Hagler. They ain't asked what's his name they asked Mike Tyson. They ain't asked what's his name. They asked Lennox Lewis. They ain't asked somebody. They ain't even asked George Foreman. They know who to ask to get in the ring with them. They know better. They know better. They know who to ask to get in the ring with them.
Yeah.
So
They don't want to see Mike.
So I asked y'all this
So
question, right? You have a couple of quarterbacks that have moved on to other organizations, and so I want to ask y'all this question: do you see them making the organization better, or let's go let's compartmentalize it to last what they did last year, to what the team did last year, and what the player did last year. And I want to know: do you think there's going to be a decline, or does the team is the team on the incline?
Richard, I knew
First
you.
team,
I knew
first team.
yeah.
Drew Lock and Seattle Seahawks. Decline or incline?
In my opinion, they can only incline. I don't think they can decline anymore. In my opinion, not that
Yeah.
Russell, but yeah, I think they can incline.
Go ahead,
Um.
Cornelius.
With Drew Lock, I disagree with that. I think they'll either stay steady where they are, decline. I don't see them going up with. I don't see them going up with Drew Lock. Um, because they haven't addressed the major issues. It wasn't because Russell Wilson couldn't play out there and get that team. Man, they had no offensive line. Like you running for your life every play. It's like you got to show up some things to make a quarterback relevant in Seattle right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel CC on that. I can see where you're going with that because you're right. They definitely need to address that offensive line, and then it's really gonna hurt Lock if DK ends up leaving too.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Okay, next
oh yeah.
squad, next squad. Matty Ice and the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm
Incline
let
or
you go
decline?
first. CC, you go this one first.
uh, Matt Ryan is a slight upgrade from Carson Wentz where he is right now in his career. Now, if it was a younger Matt Ryan, I would say, man, the sky is the limit. But they do have Jonathan Taylor back there, so you can hand the ball off and kind of shade some of Matt Ryan's deficiencies now at his age. But he was not moving
Mm.
well in the pocket. Let's be honest. Atlanta let him go because he was not moving well in the pocket.
That's
It was like that thing that you saw from Peyton Manning late in his career where he was ducking from the shadows of the defensive players before
mm-hmm.
he even got close.
Yeah.
That's where Matty Ice is with it right now. So I don't see him really making them a true contender. They still got to run Taylor to get there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bishop, you agree?
So I think to me, I'm gonna disagree with CC, and I feel like Matty Ice is gonna come in and be uh, rejuvenated. I feel like he was in Atlanta way too long. I feel like he's
Okay.
gonna pull a. I feel like, and man, and this is just me. I truly feel like Matty's gonna pull a Peyton Manning. How he went in Indianapolis. Now I'm not saying he's gonna go win a Super Bowl for him. Um, well, when Peyton went to Denver, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win a Super Bowl for him. However, though, I think he will do better than what he has been doing in Atlanta. It's a fresh start, a fresh new start, a fresh team, new faces, new talents. I feel like Matty. But I do agree with CC. He couldn't move in that pocket like he used to move in the pocket. But I think they'll have an incline. I think they'll have it.
Mm.
So, of course, to answer Anthony's question, the only one I think in which is nameable that's on their roster currently is Michael Pittman Jr. For the most part, Pascal is now a Eagle. Um, T.Y.
Yeah.
Hilton is a free agent.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I was about to say, did Ty is Ty still a free agent?
yeah, he's still a free agent, so it would be hard right now for the most part. Of course, I know Michael Pittman because he is a Trojan victory, hashtag
Mm,
victory. Of course, that's how I'll be though. But that's where we're at with that right now.
mm.
Marcus Mariota in Atlanta, the replacement to Matty Ice.
I'm gonna let CC go on that one first too.
Um, is Mariota going to be the starter? Projected
That's a
right
good
now,
question.
yeah, maybe. Maybe. But he's going to get another chance right now. I think when he had some promise in Tennessee when he was in Tennessee.
Yeah, he did.
Uh, I just don't think they had the right coaches to use him right.
Mm,
But after sitting behind some of these other NFL quarterbacks like he has recently, I think
mm,
that's going to play it to his benefit. Hopefully, he uses that experience plus his past playing experience and winning that starting job down there. And Atlanta can only go up. From
nice.
where they were, they can only go up. So, but do I see them competing with New Orleans for that, or Tampa Bay for that division and stuff?
Mhm.
It's going to be tough, but I do see them coming up a little bit with a more mobile quarterback with that kind of offense that they run. And then he has a good tight end to throw to. He has some promise out there at receiver even. So he's looking a little bit better than what Matt Ryan has in Indianapolis. I tell you that.
Cordell Patterson, Mister
I see. I
Gadget. Yeah.
so yeah. For me, Marcus, I like what CC said. He has been behind some talented QBs since he's been in the league, being a backup. Like he said, he did show some promise out in Tennessee with the Titans. Yeah, with Atlanta, I could see Marcus, having an upside and being able to take that team and turn them around to a positive and have a winning record with them. I do. I can see Marcus being that guy, man. Marcus being, the guy for Atlanta, like Ice Trades for the Hawks. So yeah, I see an incline of the Atlanta Falcons going up with Manny. As long as he, hopefully, like CC said, hopefully he got some pointers from all the quarterbacks in which he played behind, and hopefully he can come in and put it to work on the field and see that he's learned some things behind those coaches as well as those former QBs and things like that. So yeah.
All right. What about Deshaun Watson in Cleveland?
Now that one, I'm gonna be honest, man. I love Deshaun Watson, man. Great dude, man. I think he's a great dude. I don't know him personally, but he looks like he's a good dude or whatever. Definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the league before he was prior to him not playing last year. Definitely top five, top tier quarterback. Now the thing is, the problem is Cleveland.
Mm.
It's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. Cleveland is probably the second team or the third team behind the Jets, who just suffer with getting quarterbacks and killing quarterback careers. I'm gonna be honest. The Jets is the main one, and then here comes either Cincinnati and Cleveland right behind. With them getting quarterbacks and not being able to do anything with them. Now, my personal opinion, I do feel like
Good morning, Pastor.
I
What's
do.
going on, sir? Thank you for checking in
What
with
up?
us.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on? I do think he'll be a force, but again, it's about who they're going to surround him with. Watson can play and he can help anywhere he goes and make them better. We'll see. This is going to be the true test. I feel like this will be the true test. But again, we do know he still got to compete against that boom soon because he hasn't
Tell,
left yet. They have
yeah,
not. They have not. They have not let Baker Mayfield go. So there's still a competition. Look, see. This is nonsense I'm
the
talking about, CC.
audacity, the
But
audacity. How
CC,
dare you sit up and say
CC,
that?
CC. See, this is nonsense.
My
So when we
goodness.
talked about Tom Brady, though, it's wow, who's allowed him? How does he automatically win the starting position in Houston? I mean, in Cleveland, and he hasn't even played a whole year, Trey. How do
They
you
paid
automatically just give
they
it to
paid
Deshaun Watson?
$230 million for this
I don't
man.
care. So because he gets paid more money, that means he automatically. So there's no QB competition then.
There should be a QB competition, but what I'm saying is you don't
See
pay
this
two
dude
hundred
here.
and thirty million
CC,
for somebody, and then you
CC,
said, "Yeah, thank
help me,
you."
see.
say say a
CC,
prayer for this
Come
guy.
on,
Say a prayer
come
for
on,
this.
Bishop.
Say
Come on, Bishop. I got to ride with Trey on that one.
you
I
don't
got to
pay
ride with Trey.
230, man.
It's
I'm
no
Come
just
on,
saying,
bro.
competition.
listen, I'm not saying he's not gonna start, y'all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there not still should it not be a QB competition though?
It
You don't just
should.
throw him in the
It
starter
should.
position. You just
But
throw
you
him
could
in there. You
let's
ain't
keep it
seen him play.
real.
According to CC Trey,
Yeah,
y'all haven't seen him play in a whole year. You just
I
gonna
I
throw him in
assure
there.
you, I assure you, if
mm,
Baker Mayfield started showing up Deshaun Watson, what they gonna do? They're gonna be like, hey, Baker, let's see if you can do that with your shoes tied. They're gonna do everything. They're gonna create a narrative to where they make sure that he cannot. It's like, yeah, you couldn't get it done with your shoes tied. We're gonna go ahead and go with Deshaun. Like, it's not going down. It's like you
Come
don't
on,
pay
man.
230 million for that man and sit up and say, okay, Baker,
But
we're gonna
so
start
they
you.
haven't gotten rid of Baker yet. You saying they can't get rid of him
True.
fast enough? He's still there.
bro.
I think we're gonna see Baker move during this draft. Go ahead. So see, go ahead, Cornelius.
I think that's by design. I think no team has come knocking for Baker, right? Like he wanted to go to Indianapolis, and look who they took. They took Matt Ryan. They said, hey, so Baker at most, he'll probably depends on what happens with Watson. You know, if he's going to miss games or whatever. But I think you hold on to Mayfield and you say, hey, we might have to play you at least, some games in this season or something. You keep him as a backup even. What do you have to lose? It's like Trey, you were
True
saying,
that.
play out your contract. Baker is
Mm-hmm.
still under contract.
Mm-hmm. 18 million. Yep. I mean that's what it comes out to be. But I mean, honestly, like you said, it should be a competition. But if you don't pay a person 230 million to come to your franchise to sit with your in with the replacement and not he said Bishop had to go regroup. You'll pay him to sit up and do that for the most part. But I mean, stranger things has happened. I don't sit up and I don't knock it, but that's a lot of fallback if Baker Mayfield ends up staying there and ends up beating out Deshaun. Now, technically, because they brung in, they brung in Jacoby Brissett to be the backup, and
Right.
so of course maybe Jacoby Brissett is not going to outplay Baker in a system in which Baker knows. I'm very sure the system's going to change a bit because Deshaun and Baker are two different quarterbacks, but it would be interesting. But I do agree with what Bishop was saying to an extent. Like Baker is still there, and I look at it as we have a pretty good backup if that's the case. If that was the case, but I mean, is Baker going to play? Is he going to hold out? What is it going to be? Maybe you might start seeing blood in the water if something start happening. As Deshaun, we do know Deshaun Watson is still facing those 22 silver charges, in which he still might potentially face the sometime due to the NFL's policy, personal conduct policy. So he's still even himself or Brissett have an opportunity to get some games in at minimum. But so I ask you this, Cornelius and Bishop. I already think I know Bishop's answer. Let's say Baker does stay in Cleveland, right, for the last year, $18 million backup, and Deshaun gets six games. Baker
So
is
he's going to
quarter.
start. Yeah.
Baker is presumably the starter. Six
Mm-hmm.
games, 6-0. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remove Baker and put Deshaun in?
No, we just talked about it. If it ain't broke, why fix it? We just talked about that, did we not?
That's what y'all talked about. I think if I don't give a damn if it's broke or not, if I
Oh
see
my
it's an
God,
upside,
CC,
I'm going.
CC, you going bench Baker and bring in Deshaun if he's 6 and
If
0?
if Baker is 6-0, you have to ride with that. You have to ride with
Thank
that.
you,
Like you
thank you,
can't switch boats in the middle of the stream right there, man. You can't do that.
thank
You
you.
know.
Don't nobody care you back some Scott Leroy.
I'm gonna be
Nobody
just like
care.
this. Good job, Baker.
Really? See,
Deshaun, let's go.
see, we know.
230
CT,
million.
we know Trey would be on the hot seat real quick, bro. He was in the
Oh
hot
yeah.
seat real quick. Why you gonna bitch again? Like I said, we just spoke about it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
What? Thank you, Jeff. If it ain't broke,
Yes.
don't fix it. Why would you
Don't fix
put
it.
in someone who's already obviously we talking 6 games, CC Trey, 6 games. They gelling right now. That means they're hitting
So
on
you gonna
all
keep
cylinders
200? You gonna keep 230 million on the bench?
because it may be yes, I got to. Why not? I
Okay,
have to. I'm
that's what's
not
up.
finna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and let Deshaun come in just because he's Deshaun Watson and I'm paying all of this money. Maybe I made a mistake in
and
allowing
bringing them there.
and not necessarily bringing him there. I'm not gonna say
Oh,
that, but paying him that
Right.
much. Paying him that much. I may have made a mistake in paying him that much because we may have had a diamond in the rough because Baker, maybe me bringing in Deshaun and putting that heat on Baker has made him perform better. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Made him
Right.
perform better. So you know what? It is what it is. I
It's
am personally not taking him out the lineup. I'm not.
it's subjective. I think you do if Baker's rocking and he's 6-0. I start to ease Deshaun in, like
Ooh,
because you
you
gonna think
dirty.
Deshaun,
Ooh, you
Deshaun,
dirty.
Deshaun needs to get some time. Like
You
he's like,
dirty.
Well,
I'm gonna give him maybe 2 more games,
You
unless you know what I'm saying,
dirty.
to
You are.
give
And he
Deshaun.
went okay. And say he win both of them games too. Now they 8-0. You still gonna
right.
start Deshaun?
You know,
Oh my God! You
I can
you
assure
need to
you,
sit
no.
there
I
and
can
think
assure you,
about that.
I
Trey.
can
You
assure
wrong.
you, I can assure you that it's not going to even necessarily be me as a coach or the GM. It's going to start coming from the people who pay my bills. The ownership
The
is going to be like,
fans.
hey,
No, 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 no,
The
no. Because
ownership.
the one thing about Cleveland is Cleveland fans they don't play
pass them.
that. They don't play that. They know they care about they winning. If they come, if they go, if they was to go 8-0, like you said, because you give Baker Mayfield 2 more games, and he was to win those 2 games too, and they go 8-0, you think them fans gonna be happy about Deshaun start? Hell no, no they not.
Nope.
No they not.
Nope.
And let him fool around and lose that first game and go 8-1. Oh boy, they coming for your head. They coming for your head, bro. They are coming for your head. I'm telling you, you don't fix it if it ain't broke. Let it go. Ride it out, bro. Ride it out.
But
Ride it
doesn't
out.
this, fellas, doesn't this conversation show you what Bishop was saying earlier about that Cleveland organization, though? Like the dysfunction. Like we're sitting here talking about if Baker does what it's like they should have moved Baker. They should have moved Baker for whatever reason once they got Deshaun. Since they didn't do it, yeah, it's going to be a hot topic. You
Yep.
So,
know?
and at the end of the day, it's a business, bro. And business, you know what I'm saying, is what's going to, it's a business. And so that's why I say it's subjective. Like, of course, think about it. We was in this situation. As a 49er fan, Alex
Mm-hmm.
Smith was
Mm-hmm.
doing hella well. Alex Smith gets injured, they lose that game. Insert Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is doing hella well. And Alex Smith come back ready to go. Who's still at the helm? Colin Kaepernick took them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Well, no, not
See,
that year. They didn't go to the Super Bowl. They went to the NFC Championship
that's
game, and then
that's right.
the next year they went to
Got
the
to keep
Super
on the
Bowl.
field.
Right.
That's but okay, now that's a different story. Now, if Baker was to go down with an injury, of course, then yeah, Deshaun comes in, and if Deshaun still plays at the level and keeps the winning streak going, then yeah, you don't bring Baker back.
So you're saying who got the high hand? Let them go ahead and rock. That's basically what y'all
Whoever
saying.
got the high hand, let him roll.
Right.
That's right. Whoever got the high hand, let him roll.
I see
That's
Right.
like
y'all,
that's like
and
CC.
I
Help
be
me out. Help me out, CC. That's like in a basketball game, right? We playing ball, right? And Trey,
I'm
we
hot.
playing
Keep on feeding me.
you hot. You hot, but all of a sudden CC like, nah man, Trey done took too many damn shots. It's time for me to shoot now. Look at all that, man. Let me get some shots down, man. What you gonna be like, Trey? And what is all everybody else gonna be like? Man, what the hell's wrong with CC? Why he
Right.
man, I got the hot hand. Why CC over here taking all this? I'm the one with 30 points, 18 for 20. Why is he taking all the shots? I'm the dude. Nah, bro. You keep
Because
feeding him.
because
You keep
CC in his
feeding him.
because CC in his
Feed
contract
more.
year, and he's trying to make sure that he get paid. That's what's going on.
You feed Seymour, man. You let him roll it
That's
out,
where
bro.
it
You
is.
keep feeding him until he can't be fed no more, bro.
Right.
This is my question for CC and you, Trey. My thing is, why is Baker still there? Because
Even
he's
if,
already he's
I
already
think
he's already
I think he
established
get
that he doesn't want to be a backup. Why is he still in Cleveland? In
because
y'all opinion?
because what they're asking for, right? It's like it's what you want for them, which means that they're really not trying to move them, right?
think
Right.
so.
Because
Facts. That
Interesting.
part.
That's interesting.
That
you
part.
know it's like the asking price is way too high for him, and they know it's too high because they're really not trying to move him right now. I mean,
That part.
when they want him gone, he'll be gone. Trust that. Trust that.
That
But
part,
right now,
CC. And not only
Like
that,
Scott says, he's a trading piece. That's why they're holding him.
but not only that, I think the biggest thing is And I said this before. The fact of the matter is, we don't know how many games Deshaun is not going to be able to play. So
Right.
why would you allow Baker Mayfield to be traded off, not knowing you may not have Deshaun for the first 6 games of the season? You cannot. At least you know with Baker, he could probably win. There's a good possibility he could probably win all 6 or 3 for 3 or at least 4 out of 4 for
Basically,
2.
walking away with not
Yeah,
walk away with a
why
winning.
take that chance, bro? Why take that chance when you got a court? Because now who's the third string?
Right.
Brissett most likely.
Oh
Jacoby
yeah,
Brissett.
Jacoby
Hmm.
Brissett. Yeah.
So see, those are chances. Like obviously they liking Baker better than Jacoby.
So hold up,
So
wait, hold up. So what you're telling me is, it's good thing you say that. If Jacoby Brissett, let's remove Baker. If
yeah,
Jacoby Brissett is 6-0, you continue to rock with Jacoby Brissett.
yeah,
Yes, I mean you have to.
yes.
You have to.
CC schooling, man. Please school
You
him.
have to.
School him,
When
CC. School
you
him.
know you making it sound like you making
You
it
looking at
sound
the
like
person. Yeah, you looking at the person,
that
not
it's a
his body
personal
of work.
thing and not like it's more about the business, like you said, Trey. But it's more also about winning.
Hmm.
Cleveland wants the new Cleveland Browns now. They seem like they're interested in winning, and they don't
Right.
win very often. So why would you change what's winning? I mean, you gotta ride with what's winning when you don't win very often. You know.
That part.
So I just think
That
it's a
part, bro.
I think it's a powder keg just waiting to explode. I think that
That part key.
because
Right.
I agree with what y'all saying technically to an extent. I just think that I rather wager on starting my $230 million man as opposed to my 18 million or my backup. One of them two. That's what I would rather wager on. Like, okay, yes, we're good. We 6-0. I'd rather take that wager on getting a couple of games or taking a couple of L's to get him back because we know what we supposedly have in him. It's kind of the double-edged sword. I do agree the double standard because we just talked about how you don't look at what a person did, but
Mm-hmm.
it's but it still comes out to that. I would rather wager on okay, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield. Like he comes back and he has to
And by
play.
the numbers and by what we see in the body of work, we know absolutely without a shadow of doubt, Deshaun Watson is the better quarterback out of the three, without
Mhm.
question. But again, when it's all said and done, like CC said, it is about the business, and it's also about winning. And we all know it's been a long time coming for Cleveland Browns in regards to winning Lombardi,
I'm
or
just
even win,
I'll
or
tell you
even winning in the playoffs,
when
let alone
Deshaun
winning
comes back,
Lombardi.
when Deshaun if that was a situation with Deshaun come back, I'm in there like no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, and start. That's what I'm basically doing. Like I is not going to have him on the bench. So okay,
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would hate to be that coach or that general
Right.
manager to have to tell Deshaun, "Hey man, look, we gonna ride with Baker or we gonna ride with Brissett for a minute. He got the high end right now. We gonna ride with him until
Right.
until the wheels fall off until he can't do it no more. So stand
so
fast, you know what I'm saying?
what
Stay
we
fast.
what we do right quick is Cornelius, you're going to be Deshaun. Bishop, you'll be coach, and I be the GM. And I'm going to come and going to tell you, hey coach, hey coach, how you doing? The team's looking pretty good. Baker seems like keeping Baker has been pretty good. So what we're going to go is Deshaun is ready. He served his 6 games. So I think it's time for us to go ahead and to start Deshaun. So we'll go ahead and bring Deshaun in, and coach, you can go ahead and tell him that, hey, Deshaun, you we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna go
And
ahead.
I'm the coach.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and let Deshaun know that you can go ahead and tell him that Deshaun are going to continue to go with Baker at this point. So we'll go ahead and bring him in. Go ahead, Deshaun, come in and take a seat. Coach, go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, Deshaun, man, I'm glad to see that you back off your 6 game suspension. We're happy to have you here in the Cleveland organization. We appreciate you coming out and things like that. We thank you so much for all that you've done so far in this Cleveland organization. The Browns, the dog pound loves you here, and we love you here. But right now we're 6-0. I'm gonna be honest with you, Deshaun, we 6-0, and we gotta ride the hot hand right now. Baker or whether it's Brissett, They're doing what they need to do right now between the numbers. Just stand fast, man. Let's see how this plays out. If it works out for the best, man, hopefully somewhere down the line we may need you in the playoffs, or we may need you for the Super Bowl. But if the hand keeps running the way it's running, Deshaun, let's just run with it, man. I need you to grab that clipboard. I need you to be in our corner. Let's stay strong and let's go ahead and get this go fight for this Lombardi. What you think about that, Deshaun? How you feel about that?
I'm not really keen on it, but if that's what you said I need to do, I think I can try to do that. But remember, you paid me all this money to come in and be the starter. I was expecting to start. Houston sat me for a year. I sat for a year. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to show everybody what I got right now. I'll do what was necessary, but don't expect me to sit by silently. Yes, I'm watching. Yes, I'm also keeping whoever's the starter on their toes right now because I need this opportunity to bounce back. The spotlight is they're already saying that I've been sitting too long. I got this cloud over me. I'm ready to earn my money now.
And I understand that, Deshaun. And just think of it like this, if you would. And please give me a moment. I understand where you're coming from. I understand we have paid you a lot of money. We understand that you are a commodity here in the Browns organization. But let me put it to you like this. We all know the GOAT, right? When we speak of the GOAT, the GOAT, we all know of Tom, right? We know Tom, his longevity has been because of what? It's been because he's been able to stay healthy so long and not taking a great deal of hits. Let's just look at it from that perspective, there, Deshaun. Let's look at it. Well, yeah, right now you're not on the field, you're not taking any unnecessary hits and things like that. You're still gonna play, you're still gonna compete against Baker and against Brissett during practices and stuff like that. But just think, in the long run, you're preserving yourself to be even able to play for much longer. We know Baker's not gonna come on between you and I. We know Baker's not gonna be here much longer. We know that. We Brissett either. We're probably gonna look at somebody in the draft. But I'm just saying, between you and I, Baker's not gonna be here long. He's gonna fuck it up. But let's just roll with it for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Save your arms, save your legs. I know it's been a whole year. You ain't been on the field, so I know you're ready and eager and you anticipate and want to get out there and throw that pigskin. But let's just let it play out. I really believe that we can do what we do, and then when it comes down, I'm sure Baker, he's injury prone. I'm sure probably week 8 you'll be starting. So let's just ride it out. Let's just ride it
By week 8.
out. I'm getting on the hot seat.
So
By week 8.
Go ahead, Cora.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say by week 8, by then I should be sharp enough and I should be ready. I'll be ready whenever you decide to put me in.
That's what I'm talking
However,
about.
I still don't think I'm ready now, but I'll be even more ready.
He said, however, comma though. Let me put this out there to you too.
So I mean, of course, it's subjective, which we'll see. So I bring up the next one: Mitchell Trubisky in Pittsburgh, upside or down or decline.
Well, Pittsburgh suck anyway, but I'm just saying that because Scott on here because that's his squad. Mitchell Trubisky in Pittsburgh in the Steelers. So for me, Lord, so for me, Mitchell Trubisky can definitely play the game. But I think my thing is whether or not they're gonna pick up a word on it. And so it will. I don't feel like it'll. Mitchell Trubisky. I don't think it'll be a decline. I think it'll either stay the same with maybe a slight incline, but again, it's all about who if they pick up a boy out of Liberty.
I think the way Tomlin runs his teams, man, they always have a chance. So I think they have the same chance that they had with Ben Roethlisberger, no matter who he puts at quarterback. Just because he runs that organization to win. That built. Pittsburgh is one of those that always produce winning seasons somehow. It may not always show in Super Bowl or deep playoff runs, but they always have a good team, pretty much. So I don't think that's going to change just because it's Trubisky or whoever. I still think they're going to build, whether through this draft or next year's draft, they'll find their quarterback at some point.
I agree. I could agree with that. I could get down with it. Two more. Of course, Carson with the polls mentioned Carson Wentz in Washington with the Washington Commanders. Incline or decline? See, so Bishop, I feel Bishop is about to speak from a biased mindset, but I mean, truth be told, maybe Carson might have something there in Washington.
I want
Why
to
do you
start
think
this
he
off
might
by
have?
just
Go ahead, CC.
yeah.
So
yeah, Trey, why do you think he?
Because let's not act like Washington doesn't have a receiving core there with McLaurin and so they have receivers. They have a up and coming running back, and McKismick and I forgot who their other running back is, and Carson. Let's not act
Carson
like
is
at
who
one
we
point.
think he are, but Carson is who we think he is. I
Let's
mean,
not act
Carson ain't
like at one
changed.
point Carson wasn't. He didn't lead. Let's not act like he didn't lead Philadelphia to the Super Bowl for the most part, or put him in position to be in the Super Bowl. Let's not act like at one point he almost had the Colts in position for playoffs if they did fall apart at the end. So Carson, what we see in Carson is he's a quarterback that he's on his third try, most likely his last try at this point as a
Probably.
starter. I just think that he's going to snap and he's going to recognize and realize like this is where I should be, and I'm going to make the best of the situation. I don't think Carson is the worst of quarterbacks when you come to it. So I think I don't.
Oh no, he's definitely not the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Trey. I'm gonna ask you too, CC. You had to pick, and you starting your you head coach of a new team. Both of y'all head coaches of a new team. These are your two quarterback choices. You have Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield. Who you pick?
Wentz.
I'm taking look over Carson Wentz. I'm taking Baker Mayfield, and this is why I would take Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I would take Baker Mayfield. I don't know why Washington didn't try to get Baker Mayfield in the first place. That's an excellent point, Bishop. Because Carson Wentz has had multiple chances, has he not? Like this is not his first rodeo. Like he's had multiple chances. It's not just the injuries that have plagued him. Man, did you see what he did against Jacksonville last season to finish last season? I'm just saying he's had
a team who couldn't get a win. That part, CC.
Right, and pretty good championship on teams that they're supposed to make deep championship games, right? This guy has had opportunities and he's done nothing but mess them up. So why would I keep giving this guy a chance? It's like as a Cowboy fan, I love the move for the Washington Commanders. Like, thank you for getting Carson Wentz. Let's we don't have to worry about you. Now we only looking at Philly, right? Now we only looking at Philly.
Carson is going to shock the NFC East.
Okay. I'm glad somebody thinks so.
I think he's going to shock. Yeah.
I'm glad somebody thinks so because I sure don't think so. I think we're going to see the Carson we've been seeing. I don't know. I don't understand why we feel like he's going to be a different change, bro.
Anthony, let him know. Commanders, Anthony, let him know.
I don't feel like there's such an upside for Carson Wentz out there in Washington. No. I don't feel I feel like his best fit was where he was at in Indianapolis, and he still couldn't get it done.
Right.
Now you finna go to the Washington Commanders and think he's gonna play much, much better? No, I doubt it. Dice he'll be watching. No, he won't be. He'll be watching the playoffs with you there, sir. Pittsburgh Steelers. Figure out who y'all got as a quarterback.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. All right, of course. Lastly, Mr. Wilson in Denver. Upside or nah?
Definitely. For Denver, definitely an upside as far as it's a business. You wanna pack the stadium. Yeah, you got that with Russell Wilson. As far as on the field, yet to see because that division is stacked. It's a lot of you got to leapfrog a lot of teams over there with good players. You see what the Chargers did. The Chargers they're geared up for Patrick Mahomes going after defense. So where's that going to leave Russell Wilson with Denver? With a team that the receivers are young, everybody's pretty much new there, new coach, new everything, right? Where's that going to leave Wilson getting acclimated to that system fast enough to play in that AFC West? That's oh man, they getting tight over there. They getting tight over there. So what can how far can he take them? They'll be a little bit better than they were this past season, but they might not even make the playoffs, to be honest.
Mm. So I feel like when we talk about Russell Wilson, man, I still feel like he's a somewhat of a top tier QB. Him going to Denver, like just like a man, switching teams from the team which they were with for such a long time. I think that's going to give Russell Wilson a breath of fresh air to come out and do something um, a little different out there in Denver. We know what Teddy Bridgewater was doing when he was out there trying to make a run, but he couldn't stay healthy. Stuff like that out there in Denver, things like that. Russell Wilson is definitely a different type of quarterback than Teddy Bridge. Um, and I just feel like Russell. I think they'll incline with Russell. I do. I think I think Russell's gonna come in there and change the whole dynamic of their team. I think he brings a certain aura about himself um, that's going to be transferable over to that whole organization. There's going to definitely be upside for Broncos.
Okay, we see. So Bishop, yesterday we shall see. Of course, I look for it. I'm glad he's out the NFC East. I mean West. So I I wish him a great deal of success where he is until we got to face him again. So Bishop, a
Yeah.
couple of more things in the NFL, then we'll go ahead and move on to the NBA. Action is fantastic.
Mhm.
So one thing we talked about yesterday, Tyrann Matthew did a virtual uh, visit with the Philadelphia
With them
Eagles.
beloved EAGLES Eagles. Let's go. Let's go.
So obviously you were a little bit ecstatic about that situation.
I
Does
was.
does Tyrann Matthew make them the defense better?
Absolutely. Is that a question? Are you serious right now? Absolutely. Yes, he comes in and the honey badger comes in and flaunts that Kelly Green. Yes, sir. Yeah, they coming out shut up, Scott. It will definitely help us, man. Definitely. Without question. We could use the honey badger. We need some secondary help. Definitely. He would be an asset to the Philadelphia organization without question.
And additionally, what did you think about former Olympian hurdler Devin Allen, who ran
From
the
Oregon?
4.37 from Oregon
Yeah.
in the pro day, being signed for 3 years as the play receiver for the Eagles.
So
Good
this is
look or
my
no?
thing. See,
Okay,
but see, this is my thing, right?
okay.
We spoke about this before. We can get some speed. We had speedsters. We had a Jalen Rager. We had all these other speedsters, bro, and they didn't do nothing on the field. So I didn't get excited about this guy. There was nothing to get excited about a guy who was a track star. Yeah, hoorah, hoorah, track. This is not track. This is football. Full contact sport, guys. Let's not get excited about somebody who can run track. Okay, he's good at running track. Cool. But if it doesn't translate over onto the football field where he can run fast as well as catch the ball all at the same time, who doesn't? Why does it matter? Yeah, we had Deshaun Jackson, but he could catch the
Right.
ball. Deshaun could catch the ball. The thing that plagued Deshaun Jackson was the fact he stayed hurt. He was injury prone. He couldn't stay on the field. But yeah, I wasn't excited. I was more excited about Tyrann Matthew, the honey badger, than I was about this receiver that we just picked up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about speed and all of that. We've seen that before. Who was one of the teams that always had speed on it but never made it to the Super Bowl? The Chicago Bears. They kept speed. They had speed all around them, and they still could never make it to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? In so many years, they've been in the Super Bowl before. No, I'm not. No, don't get me wrong, I get it, but I'm just saying they were one of them teams who would keep speed but couldn't do nothing with it. Yeah, we know he'll run track. Yeah, I know all the speeds, all the main wide receivers that are speedsters. Nine times out of ten, all of them run track. All of them run track. But the thing is, can they run and catch at the same time? Can they do two things at once?
So,
Some
additionally,
theories.
Bishop, before we had the question in which I asked you about who are your top individuals right now in the skill position. So yesterday with Ron, myself, and Cornelius, we went over the defensive side of the ball. So I asked you from the defensive side of the ball, who do you label as the top linebacker, top defense, the top lineman, top corner, and top safety in the league right now? Who are
Top
your
linebacker.
top
Top
linebacker?
linebacker right now, it would
Hmm.
either have to be um, what's his name? That just got traded. It's either out of him or old boy out of
Wagner.
that Bobby Wagner or old boy that just got traded from the Rams,
Oh, Von Miller.
Von Miller. It's either out of him and Von Miller, Bobby Wagner and Von Miller as top linebacker.
How did I know
Defensive
Applewhite would say this?
or Parsons. I even put Parsons in there too. I even put Parsons in there too. I will. I will put as far as linebackers. As far as D
It's not
line,
okay.
as far as D line, it have to be. It's definitely Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's got to be, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Aaron Donald is the best defense. A
agree with you on
corner,
that one.
corner would have to be. It's probably out of Darius Slay, Ramsey. It's probably out of Darius Slay and Ramsey, and then top safety.
It's okay, Scott. He know not what he does. It's okay. He does. It's okay.
TJ, I get TJ. I'm not sleeping on TJ. You only saying it because TJ plays for the darn Steelers. Shut up. You only saying that because he plays for the Steelers. But I'm not knocking TJ. But TJ is not doing what Aaron Donald's doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I
TJ
still
is his
got.
line. He's an outside linebacker.
Oh, what? That's true too. That's right. That's right. He not D line anyway. Oh yeah, but TJ, I'm not giving him. I'm not putting him over Wagner. I might put him over. Ooh, I'm not even putting. I don't even know if I'm putting him over Vaughn either.
Ooh,
Fitzpatrick.
Mm.
really?
Oh, yeah, he talking about DB. Yeah, Fitzpatrick. But I still like Tyron. Tyron Matthew Honey Badger at safety position.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
safe.
like him and old boy out of Philly too. Um, I don't know
Mm.
why I can't think of his name right now, but Philly safety is pretty good too. No love for my Cowboys district. Not in. I said I give y'all Parsons. That's about it. I give y'all Parsons defensively. That's about it.
Parsons is not better than TJ.
No,
Parsons,
not
no,
well.
no,
Parsons,
no.
Parsons, not yet, not yet. You know,
Mm-mm.
uh,
Too soon.
not
Too
yet.
soon. Yeah, too soon.
Right.
Too soon.
And that's why I didn't throw. That's why yesterday I didn't say the Diggs, Trayvon Diggs or whatever.
Trayvon
As
Diggs.
far as
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs.
as
Yeah, yeah.
far as a corner or something. That's why I didn't go
Right.
there with him. Just not enough. You know, not enough mileage yet to get a
Facts.
gauge on that.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody
Okay.
loves your cowboy. Yeah.
Of course. Excuse me. I had another topic, but we'll say that for tomorrow. It's
All
because
right.
I'm very sure that's going to light a powder keg. So moving into the NBA, gentlemen. Of course, yesterday, before we get to what is probably one of the top subjects in which Luca was confirmed to have a calf strain after doing his MRI. Of course, it has not stated
Mm.
what the severity is, what type of calf strain it is, or how long he'll be out. We know for the most part he has from the time in which he left the arena until the beginning of the first round of the playoffs, which is the 16th, to possibly stop it, Scott.
What he did now? Talking some nonsense, ain't it? What he did?
So what we're gonna have is, of course, also additionally we have Alvin Gentry, as we know, was the
That's right.
interim coach for the Sacramento Kings. He has been let go as they part ways. So already we have two coaches that have been let go, in
Who's the
which
other coach,
now
Trey?
we have two coaches in which have been
Hold on,
let
Trey.
Yeah.
go.
Hold on. I need to know who the other coach. I heard one. You didn't mention the other one.
because I'm getting to the other one. I'm not going to. I'm not going.
Oh,
We have two coaches that have been let go as they start to begin their uh, their search. Two different type of organizations, in which one is a very historic organization. So the looking for the coach is a little bit different. Of course, that second coach, in which Bishop so eloquently is trying to get me to say, is Frank Vogel was
why do you want
let
to say
go
his name
yesterday.
though?
Frank Vogel was released
Oh,
yesterday as
okay.
the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Uh,
Yeah,
Frank Vogel coached them to 129 and 98 season. He coached them to an NBA championship. Um, but he has been let go as the Lakers coach, as now they begin their extensive look for the next coach for that organization. I ask you, gentlemen, who do you think would be a good fit going forth? Mark Jackson, uh, I know Quinn Snyder, the coach for the Denver Nuggets, was talked about. As it's been also stated that he is losing the interest in that. Uh, I know Doc Rivers has been a name that has came up. Of course, you have coaches like
good
the
question, Richard. Applewhite, good question.
and as I said, and that's a good question. Like you said, you got the Darvin Hams that are on people's rosters and benches. Additionally, the Van Gundys. Um, Mark Jackson is out there. So do y'all think any of these coaches would be a good fit to to coach that purple and gold?
It's funny because um, no, I don't see any. I don't see any coach that that's not a player's coach. Mark Jackson, unless he's revamped himself, that's why he was out of Golden State. He wasn't really a player's coach, right? Right
Hmm.
now, leagues are dominated by the players, man. Coaches don't really have much say anymore as far as how the teams are constructed and things like that. I think Mark Jackson wouldn't have enough power for him to take that job. You know what I mean? Um, I think you would have to go with. I think you would basically have to go with somebody, another yes man. Man, you got to get another yes man in the Lakers organization that's going to take orders from LeBron at
not
some
a
point.
yes
You
man.
know, I mean, you just have to be straight up with that. That LeBron's going to have the overall say there. So even though he denies that he's going to have the say, he's going to have say. So whoever they bring in
Yeah,
has to keep that in mind. If you don't want to be a puppet in the string,
yeah.
don't go to LA.
What we not going to do is try to act like that we are ran by. So it's funny that you say that, and we'll come back around. It's funny that you say
Y'all are ran by LeBron James. Y'all are.
LeBron has went on record and stated that all that he's hands off when it comes to the personnel.
You believe that?
he
You
did
believe that?
say he did say, and as well as Rob Palinko did bring up the fact of the matter that he goes to LeBron and AD in reference to the personnel from a
He
insider
only threw
standpoint.
AD in there because he didn't want people to think LeBron was the only one that he go to.
But
But he don't go
additionally,
to AD. He don't go
LeBron
to AD.
says he does get asked and he's going to give his opinion. But
Of course he
ultimately, at
does.
the end of the day, it comes down to the front office and making these moves. Now, what has
LeBron is
been
the front
stated,
office.
what has been stated, and what we
LeBron's
have,
locker is right by the front office. So when they walk in, they talk to LeBron first. His
LeBron's
locker is
locker
right
is an
by.
office. LeBron's locker is an office. It's
Yes,
like,
sir.
hey, it's right next
Yeah,
to the.
they knock on the wall. They be like, "Hey, LeBron, can you come over here real quick?
Yes, sir.
Can you come over
So
here real quick, bro? We got a question, man. We got a question."
it has been stated. Of course, Nick Nurse is another one, which supposedly his name has came up. But it has been stated that LeBron was part of the catalyst, part of the reason and why Westbrook was in LA as opposed to DeMar DeRozan. Um,
Facts. We knew
in
that.
which but so again yesterday, which I spoke about it, I think it's unfortunate for Vogel because when you look at it, Vogel is a defensive minded coach. Vogel had a top 3 defense in the league the year they won the championship. The 2 years after
Yeah.
that, Rob Palinka basically dismantled those teams, and he brought in what we have now in the Lakers. In which 2 years they didn't. They last year they had the 72 game season, in which LA was bounced out. They had a winning record, but they was bounced out in the first round versus the Phoenix Suns. This year, they didn't even make it to the play-in. They didn't have any type of defensive presence, and there wasn't enough offensive firepower to overcome. So for me, when I look at that, Frank Vogel isn't the problem. Rob Pelinka's the problem.
Mm.
You
But
think so?
Blink is not coaching the team though.
He's
All
not.
he's
He's putting together the team.
Trey.
Yeah,
Trey,
but
ask
ain't that
yourself.
his job to put together the team?
He's not effective
Right.
at it.
But Trey,
What?
ask yourself this question. Y'all gotta ask, like, coach for Vogel, what style of team were the Lakers this year? Like, what were they? Were they a
they didn't have an
fast break
identity.
team?
Yeah, they didn't have an identity.
Right.
And
And whose fault is that? That's
was
the
their problem.
coach. That's
But
the coach.
So it becomes what came first, the chicken or the egg. So what I look at, what I look at is Rod Kalinka constructs the team and he provides a team for the coach to coach. He didn't provide any type of defensive prowess on the team for Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel worked with what he worked with after the fact. Like we said, Frank Vogel's the year they won the NBA championship, they were a top 3 defensive unit. Caruso gone. They paid. They kept everyone initially. The only people that was on that squad this year after that, Caruso was bounced. They let Caruso go. They decided to play Tyler Horton Tucker and kept him over Caruso. They decided
Let
to
Hall go.
they let Rondo go. They end up
Oh.
releasing they let Schroeder go. They end up trading to Russell and let Kuzma, Harold, as well as KCP go. He dismantled the whole team at the end of the day, and he brought back Russell Westbrook and a bunch of
Dwight Howard.
veterans. Yeah, Dwight Howard. He brought back Dwight Howard, brought in Carmelo. He brought in that with the idea of being offensive minded team, but there was no defense, and again, there was no way to overcome the lack of defense. They didn't have enough firepower to overcome that lack of defense. So that's why I say like Pelinka constructed this team, and we talked about this yesterday a little bit, Cornelius, in which we talked when I said basically Rob gave Russell Westbrook, and we talked about how initially I said how the disdain came from Russell Westbrook said, I'm the point guard, let me be the point guard, paraphrasing. And Rob, and then of course Vogel was like, no, we got several people that can push the ball up on when it comes off the rim. Anyone can bring the ball up. Russell, I'm the point guard. I bring the ball up. So already that's where Russell said he didn't have a role, which goes back to what you was just saying. There was the identity wasn't clear. And, and for the most part, Russell fell on that. And then now Frank Vogel has fell on that because he's without a job when he did what he was supposed to do and he worked with what he had. And it's unfortunate for him, but I think Rob Pelinka is the problem. I think that he constructed a team in which he brought in Russell Westbrook when we talked about yesterday. It probably wasn't a good fit. But it probably could have worked. But then you have a coach who feels like, no, anyone should be able to bring up the ball. But you have a point guard that feels like I should be bringing up the ball. And it was never a good fit. And so that's what
Let me
lacked a
ask you
good
this,
fit.
Trey.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, Trey. I hear what you're saying, and I feel what CC is saying. And I feel like it sounds as though you brought in a lot of the Laker woes on Blake. But let me ask you this quick question, right?
This is so stupid.
What's the difference in a coach coaching, let's just say, the Olympic team? They have to figure it out, right? They have to figure it out. With the Olympic team, you have nothing but superstars on the squad. You have nothing but superstars on the squad. When it's all said and done, when you have that many superstars on the squad, what?
You have to make it work.
Somebody has to know every person on that starting lineup for the Olympic team. Every person has to know their role on that
Correct.
squad. And as a coach, you have to not empathize, but you have to solidify in that starting five what role each person has. You have to dig down deep into their mind and get them to understand this is your role, including the people that are on the bench. Because of course, the people who are the players that are on the bench, you got to put them in with certain people who's going to make them gel together. Palinka was expecting the same thing from Vogel, from Frank Vogel. I feel like any other coach, I'm almost willing to bet, without a question, and CC help me out if I'm wrong. If you would take that same squad that the Lakers have right now and put them under the tutelage of Popovich, I guarantee you wouldn't have the same outcome. I guarantee you would not have the same outcome. I totally believe that a lot of it, I get what you're saying, Trey. Palinka is the one that you want to point some fingers at as well. And not saying that no fingers should not be pointed at him, but when it's all said and done, if I'm the guy that's building the team, all right, it's your job to make it work as a coach. I'm giving you all the ingredients to make this perfect pie, cake, whatever you want to make. You have to make sure the ingredients gel together to make it sure that this cake doesn't fall, not leaning, that it's decorated perfectly, and all of that. If you make a false move on anything, that cake will be a disaster. And that's what Frank Vogel has done. He has not found a way to make those three individuals, those three superstars on that team, gel well enough to win. I get what you're saying. In regards to the defense, however, when it's all said and done, it's about who can outscore who. Who can outscore who? The whole thing, like we talked about when it comes to football. I know we don't basketball, but when we talk about football, when we talk about who? The great Patrick Mahomes, Patrick the Great, what we talk about. Everybody talks about. It ain't about beating, it's not about stopping Patrick Mahomes. It's about outscoring the Kansas City Chiefs. You gonna score on Kansas City, and Kansas City gonna definitely gonna score on you. But can you outscore them? That's the whole thing, and that's how I feel about the Lakers. I feel like Frank Vogel couldn't find the right recipe, as we say. Just like
Yeah,
let's take it over to
they
the
had 41 start. They had 41 lineups, starting lineups.
see right there, and that right there tells you obviously he couldn't find the right recipe. There was something
Right.
wrong where his recipe was just like when we watch Power, Force. What's old girl trying to do? She trying to find that Dahlia. She did everything. She kept trying, kept trying, kept trying, kept trying. Finally, she figured it out. Same thing with this team. I don't think it's the players. I think it's the coaching. My
Right.
personal opinion. Cornelius, you got it.
I mean, I thought it. I said it yesterday. I thought it came down to it's a little bit of blame to go for everybody, but mostly the coach. You have to put emphasis on the coach to get those players to play together. I brought up Phil Jackson, who played with a lot of personalities. You have to get
Absolutely.
those. You have to get those stars. He played in LA with all those stars. He coached in LA with all those stars like that. And you
Yep.
have to. It's LA. You have to coach the stars. It's going to be stars there. I just think Vogel wasn't up for that challenge. From the way the team was constructed. Palinka gets a little bit, but not a whole lot. Like you got to put that on Vogel to say, hey, you know what? Even when people are hurt or people are injured or in and out of the lineup, we still have to have that core that can go out there and keep us in games, and maybe we can win some of those close games coming down the stretch.
I,
Absolutely.
so going back in, we won't beat this too much, but going back to what you were saying when you brought up Coach Pop as the as a coach in that same in with that same roster.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you said is, or one thing that came to mind to me that came to my mind is a coach in which was respected. At minimum, in this locker room, I think there was a loss of respect Westbrook to Vogel based upon his role. LeBron yesterday after the exit interviews, he came on and said he much respected Coach Vogel, and saying he was a great guy and all that type of stuff, which he got things in which he said about him. There was a lack of respect, presumably from Westbrook to Vogel, because then Westbrook even went on to say, I didn't get a chance to read the article, but he even went on and said that he doesn't understand what Vogel had against him at the end of the day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so now I just think that is a situation where the wrong person got let go. So I throw this at y'all. Do y'all
Mhm.
think under a different GM that Vogel could have been successful with a different squad? Let's say that he did get a DeMar DeRozan and he did get a Buddy Hield, and they didn't let go of. Well, they probably would have to relinquish some of that. Like, do you think that Westbrook was a good fit or he wasn't a good fit? I mean, I hear the conversation about it should have made it work, but it was Russell Westbrook a good fit ultimately?
So let me say this, and then I'm gonna say this for you, CC go. Westbrook, we have to look at Westbrook's track record. He really hasn't been a good fit with any team in which he's had a superstar on it. It was him. It was him. It was him, Katie, and Hart. Then he went over to what was it to Houston, and it was him and what's his name over in Houston. I personally, with Westbrook, man, I don't know, man. I'm still out. I'm still out on Westbrook. I don't know if Westbrook can be. I'm sure it's somebody out there in which Westbrook can play with that he can gel with and make a great team with. I just don't know who it is. In my personal opinion, I don't know who it is now. In regards to if they would have brought in, you know what I'm saying, other players, I still feel like Vogel would still have to find a way to make it work, to find ways to put the pieces, the puzzle pieces in place to ensure that they have a winning record and can make a run for the playoffs and of course a run to the NBA Finals. So who's to say if a new GM would have changed their outcome of their season? Um, Either way, when it's all said and done, it's still up to Frank to ensure that he gets his players ready and he has the right chemistry on the floor at any given time to get wins. So that's where I sit with that.
It's it's like I said yesterday, as far as when it comes to Westbrook. What about being professional, man, and being able to make an adjustment to your game a little bit? You know, you go and play with other stars, you have to make that adjustment. And he didn't learn anything from playing with stars previously, right? To have to make an
Right.
adjustment. He played with KD, man. He played with some of the best. He played with Harden.
That part.
Hey, he even played with Paul George, right? He's played with some.
Paul
He's
George,
played with
that's the
some
one. Yeah,
prominent
that
players.
part.
He's played with some prominent players. Even Bradley Beal when he went to the Wizards, even though they were both hurt here and there, but he's played with some stars in the league, and he's just not been able to make minor adjustments. Not you don't even have to make
That
huge
part.
adjustments if you're him, Mr. Triple Double. You don't have to make huge adjustments. You just have to make
Right.
minor adjustments that he's not willing to make. I think that's Westbrook's. That's his own problem. That's the only problem I see with Westbrook is that unwillingness to change. So I don't think it would have mattered what coach it was. If it was Vogel, if it was Doc Rivers, if it was anybody, if it was Popovich, you still would have to say, "Hey, man, make that adjustment."
Mm-hmm.
I think Russell's going to try to do himself. Either way it goes on any team, wherever he goes, whatever he lands, even if he stays in LA, the conversation, but it has to come from his peers now, right? Like, hey, man, do you want this bad enough do you want a championship bad enough that you're willing to make small sacrifices? You know,
Do y'all think
Right.
the super team? Do y'all think the super team era is coming to an end?
What do you mean in regards to what? No more.
no.
Like I don't.
That now they're
You
starting to
talking about like
be. So now when you look at it, like we said, you have the Lakers super
No.
team, you have the super team in Brooklyn. Uh, to an extent, you have a super team
Philly?
In Philly. So, but then you have the teams
Right.
that's like uh Phoenix and Memphis that aren't built on a bunch of superstar players. It's built on a star player, up and coming player, and a bunch of contributive players, and that's clicking. That's making it work. Boston, another team in that. So, do you think that's going to
But
that's
Boston
some?
wasn't made. So that's the difference though. No, so are you asking are the making of super teams are
Yeah,
about to be
yeah.
non-existent
The
or because
construction of a
Boston
super
didn't make
team they're
right,
organic.
right,
There is more
right,
organic. Yeah.
right because Boston wasn't made into a super team. They just happened to be one because of they wasn't
I would
made
even
to.
consider you a super team, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like they're
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
they was constructed as such. It wasn't the
right,
trades and stuff
right,
like that.
absolutely, right. That part, right, that part. And so with that, that's hard. That's kind of hard to that's kind of hard to answer because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know who the next big superstar is going to be. Like right now, we're looking at what old boy out of Detroit, looking at old
Okay,
boy out of
Cunningham,
Houston, Kanye
Jalen
Cunningham. We're looking at
Green.
R.J. Barrett and them out in the Knicks. R.J. Barrett and all them. We don't know what we're getting out of Zion. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know who the next. We do know that Ja is definitely the next one of the faces of the NBA coming up. As long as he can stay healthy, he's definitely gonna be the face
Right.
of the NBA coming in the near future. The Lucas. What I'm saying? We see what Lucas doing. We see what Embiid is doing. We see what Green is doing. We see all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. It's about the up and coming ones on whether or not. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Cornelius, you think the same? Is it a dying breed, or is it a pause, or we just have a new
No,
emergence?
I think it's just like he said, it's going to be just different players, and you don't know how they feel. But as the money goes up, it's going to be harder to fit players together. It's going to be like who's willing to sacrifice the money at some point if you want to get like stars on the team. But at the same time, you got to look at it like that's what. It goes way back to the Lakers and the Celtics. They had super teams. Like they had, Showtime Lakers. They had a bunch of Hall of Famers. The Celtics had a bunch of Hall of Famers. The Pistons, all those teams, they had a lot of Hall of Famers, whether they were free agents and all that stuff. So, the Bulls had a lot of Hall of Famers, man. Where they had Scotty, they had Mike, they had Rodman on that second run, right? So, it's always those stars. I don't think that's ever going to change in the league because that's what you need to win in a lot of cases. Charles Barkley couldn't get it done with just average players, man, like without superstars. Like teams they come up short when you don't have that. Like LeBron came up short a lot of times without superstars, right?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you're gonna have to have that super team mentality in order to compete for championships in the long run.
Okay, I get that. I
So,
can rock
so
with
I
that.
I see everybody talking about you can't build a super team with players in their late thirties. How old is CP3?
He's in his mid to late 30s.
Ain't he the oldest in the league right now?
Nah, he's not the oldest.
No, Carmelo got him. Carmelo probably got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Carmelo probably got him. But look at what CP3 is doing
But
now.
his
How
game is
you so
predicated to that. Yeah, his game is
yeah,
predicated
but
to.
everybody's saying that the Lakers have older players. Only player that's old on the Lakers team is LeBron and Dwight Howard.
Melo. Yeah,
And
and
Melo.
And
Melo.
Melo, but Melo's on the bench. I'm talking in regards to starters.
Yeah,
Like you know what I'm saying? It's LeBron and Dwight Howard. Those are only two
right.
old cats that's on the squad. They're
But
fairly a young team outside of them two. Or who else, Trey?
no, I was about to say, but when you look at it, in my opinion, as we seen like their younger talent, i.e., Austin Reeves, Malik Monk,
Yeah,
those players are show the promise in opinion. So I look at when you couple them with someone like because technically AD and Russ are still young. I mean,
fairly
they
young,
got
right? They're
they got
considered
yeah
young,
they got
yeah,
yeah they're still young. They just got some miles on them because of the
right.
because they're yeah. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get it taken care of and fix it. But I just think, and I can retract and basically go with the same thing in which Cornelius said is that it comes out to where the Lakers when we look at for the Lakers, since this is what we're talking about, they are it's a lot of blame to go around, and hopefully they come a cohesive unit and they figure it out. I even will put it on some people who we ain't talking about, LeBron and AD to a extent. Like though they have buy-ins, and if they get approached about what we can do and or what they can do, then it should be, in my opinion. I'll come back to it, and when we first picked up Russell. I said hopefully LeBron is open to relinquishing some of that to Russell, so that way he can operate in that system.
Mhm.
Instead of Russell trying to find his niche, allow him to operate in the system. You picked me up to come be this person, not you didn't pick me up to come be a shell of that person. You picked me up to be that person. Allow me to be that person. You know what I'm saying?
What
Just like
person
this,
is that though? What person? When you say that person, what person are we talking about? Are we talking about that triple double quick king?
the
Is that the
ability,
person?
yeah, the ability to get a triple double. We don't need you. I think Cornelius said yesterday we don't need triple doubles from you, but
We don't. Not
we
finished.
need but
That
we
ain't that.
need that action, and we all know his triple doubles was predicated on him attacking the rim. I can't attack the rim when the ball's not in my hand. I'm not a shooter. You're trying to make me into a shooter. I do my damnedest, and we all see how that went. Like I need to
Right.
be able to attack the rim. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be able to attack the rim, and that's what he wasn't able to do. So that going back to the drawing board, I hope they take that in consideration because I think it could have fit. It just someone has to relinquish, and it's like what Cornelius was just saying. You're professionals, and in being professional, you have to realize, in my opinion, LeBron, because you're the oldest of the professionals, and you're the one that's on the downstroke. Hey, relinquish some of that. If you look at LeBron over the 56 games he played, the man's averaged 30 points or above in the 50 games he
So
played at 18 years in the league, at 19 years in the league. Like
so I get what
that's
you're saying because
tremendous.
I get what you're saying because I do agree. LeBron and AD, I mean LeBron and Russell are both basket attackers. Both of them are basket attackers. They're not that Well, so if you look back, you can't have LeBron and Westbrook being both who attack the basket because when Westbrook was over there with KD and Harden, KD and Harden wasn't that. Yeah, they attacked the basket, but they didn't attack the basket like Westbrook does or like LeBron does. Yes, they both can do it, but they didn't do it. They were more of shooters compared to Westbrook, who was an attack the basket that type of guy, like LeBron is. So I can see why them two may not necessarily fit hand in hand together over there in LA because you got two guys ball dominant who
Mm-hmm.
needs to attack the basket to make change or to get wins for their team. So I get where you're coming from with that. However, like CC said though, did LeBron change his game for the team? I don't feel like LeBron changed his game. I feel like LeBron played his normal game, in which he's used to playing. I didn't see any change in LeBron's game whatsoever, in my opinion. This year, I feel like LeBron played his normal all-around game. Where I did see a difference is Westbrook, like Trey said, they try to make Westbrook a shooter, and that's not Westbrook's strong point. He's not a shooter. He's a facilitator, and he knows how to to finish at the basket at the rim. And I feel like they had too much of that with him and LeBron. You can't, but they both could do that, especially when you got a big man like AD in the paint, you know, down there in that area. Yeah, that wasn't just that. Just for me, that just didn't gel.
Mhm.
So one question I bring up, I'm saying, of course, we have tonight the beginning of the play-in, as we have, of course,
Yes,
two
sir.
teams that get to play. Bishop's beloved Brooklyn Nets will be hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers
Let's go.
in Brooklyn for a chance to get in to be the number 7 seed. And of course, you have the Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers will be traveling to Minnesota to play against the Minnesota Timberwolves as for the 7 seed in the West. Gentlemen, who are y'all rocking with tonight? Is it Cleveland with the upset, or
Negative.
Brooklyn going ahead to use their super team and expels
Right,
their
baby.
superpowers? Or is it Minnesota Cat, the young nucleus of the Minnesota Vikings, continue on in the West? Or is it the Clippers with Paul George at the helm? Who y'all got tonight, gentlemen?
But first, I'm gonna take the Nets. Of course, you know I'm taking my Brooklyn Nets, man. Let's go, Brooklyn. Stand up. I'm definitely taking the Nets, especially playing at home. I gotta take Brooklyn. Now this Clippers games and this Timberwolves game, that's gonna be a good one because oh man, I don't know, man. With Paul George, PG, man, him coming back, he makes a difference for the Clippers, man. As we've been seeing lately. But they are playing in Minnesota. Mm, I'm gonna go with Big Cat, man. I'm taking Big Cat. I'm going Nets and Big Cat.
Nets and Big Cat. All right, Cornelius, who you got, bro?
I agree. I agree with Bishop totally. I'm going with the Nets in the first game. I don't even think it's going to be close tonight. Like I honestly
Woo!
don't.
Talk to him,
In Brooklyn,
CC.
in Brooklyn, I don't think it's going to be close. I think Kyrie has something to prove, man. So whenever a guy comes out and has something to prove, it's going to be different. I think KD is going to be KD, but Kyrie has something to prove. Remember, his name has been used a lot this year as a scapegoat for that team. So he's going to come out. He's going to show up. So it won't be close. And then the other game is like I said yesterday. I think Minnesota's a little bit better team this year than the Clippers right now. So I think they'll get the edge there. I think they'll win. It's two stars pretty much against Paul George out there. When you really want to look at it, you're looking at Cat and that Edwards, Anthony Edwards. I think that's his name. And
Yeah.
that's it. I think those two. I think they come ready.
And so I could agree with y'all on one of the two games. I
I guess
relish
which one.
I
I guess which
relish
one it is.
I relish in the fact of being able to come on here tomorrow and laugh at the fact that Cleveland has moved on
That ain't gonna happen.
and knocked off Brooklyn and moved
That's not
on
gonna
as
happen.
a 7 seed. But it doesn't end there because Brooklyn will have an opportunity and a chance again to get in as the 8th seed. So they're not completely dispatched. But
That's
so
that part.
I relish at that. So I am personally believing that Cleveland comes to play and shocks Brooklyn. Not a knockout because they don't knock them out, but they basically, give a quick, combo, pip pip, and now here we go. They're in the 8th,
That
they're
part,
playing
Freddie.
for their lives.
so
They're playing for their lives in
so let me
another game.
So let me ask you guys a question: would that be a bad thing if the Nets lost to
You know what? That's
Cleveland?
interesting.
Would that be a bad thing for Cleveland to go as the number 7 seed and then the Nets to go on because they won't lose two games? So for them to go on to be the 8th seed and play Miami first round, would that be bad? Would that be so terrible? I mean, hey, look at it.
Good question.
I mean,
Good
Now you
question.
when you say that, look at Bishop's face because you can see the fear in his eyes when you say
Yeah, that's a good question, yo. I mean, yeah, it's not.
does
It's not.
does
It's not
Brooklyn
a
want
bad
to?
thing.
You know
It's
what?
not.
I'm a believer in Miami right about now. So I don't know
really?
if yeah, man, I'm a believer
I'm
in
not.
Miami right about now.
I'm
Of
not.
course you're not, but I'm a
I'm
believer in
not.
Miami. So I don't know if Brooklyn wants that problem. Like yes, Kyrie, saying
We
is
want all the. We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. Bring it.
Right.
We
I don't
want
know.
all the smoke.
I don't even know. I don't even think they want Boston at this point, Cornelius. I don't even know
Now
if they
Boston
really.
is something
They
different.
might.
Now Boston
They
is
might
something
not
different.
want to get that 7 seed. They might not want that 7 seed.
Now
That was
Boston is
my point
definitely something
exactly.
different.
That was my point exactly. Like, who would
Yeah,
you rather
yeah.
see, the Heat or
Boston.
Boston and
Boston?
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
I would definitely rather play than Miami than Boston. I ain't gonna lie. I would definitely rather play Miami than Boston all day, every day,
Right.
without question.
And then, of course, I believe Minnesota does knock off the Clippers, and then the Clippers go and get knocked off later on by
Ooh.
to get knocked off later on. But yeah, I think that's my pick. I have Cleveland with the upset, going to the 7 seed, and then Minnesota as well. Additionally, but that's definitely interesting. Of course, when you come into that, last night, of course, the WNBA had their draft. I think tonight. I think this year is going to be a little more attention paid to the WNBA, especially for myself. Of course, you had Kentucky's Ryan Howard taken number one overall by the Atlanta Dream in the NBA draft. Of course, WNBA draft. I took a look at, of course, to some of the other teams. I ain't gonna even front you. I only look to see what the Sparks did. That's for the most part. I only look to the Sparks.
Of course.
They, of course, yes. You know what I'm saying? The Sparks. I I,
Who picked up
I
old girl out of South Carolina?
the Destiny. Talk about the point guard.
Yeah, Destiny.
She picked up by the Fever. The Fever picked
That's
her up.
that's
The
Denver,
other one still. The Fever is no,
Washington,
it's not Denver. The
Indiana, right?
Yeah, Indiana Fever.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah. So she got picked up by she got picked up Destiny Henny
Yeah, Destiny. That's her. I like
yeah,
her
so
game.
yes.
She plays
Yes.
some balls.
True that. True that. You're correct. You're correct, Key. The Sparks are the only LA team. Oh no, that's not true, Key. I thought you said that's the only team in
That,
the WNBA. I just
I'm
I
the only LA team I like.
LA team. Nice
uh
team.
of
Like
course
that.
what else? What else? What else we have? 5 minutes. So last night, or I didn't see. I don't know if y'all took or realized. Now the NBA has created or constructed divisional trophies now that they give for the divisions that win. And so what they've done is they utilize six African Americans in the NBA game in which they have named these trophies after that goes to each division's champion in that fact. So what we have is the Atlanta division gets the Nat Sweetwater Clifton Trophy for the Atlanta division. Of course, he was the first African American to sign a contract in the NBA. Clifton played for the New York Knicks through the 1950s and 57 era and was an NBA All Star in 1957. In his first season, he helped lead the Knicks to their first finals appearance. The Central Division is the Wayne Embry Trophy. As we all know, Wayne Embry played for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was one of the first African Americans to become an NBA general manager with said Milwaukee Bucks after a lengthy playing career that included 5 teams outside of the Bucks. He had 5 NBA appearances in the NBA championship in 1968. He transitioned to the front office and after his playing career rose, became the first African American to be named general manager. He continued as a basketball executive for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Toronto Raptors, and was named the Basketball Executive of the Year in 1992 and 1998. Actually, if you get a chance to read his book is actually a pretty good read. Uh, the Errol Lloyd Trophy is the Southeast Division trophy. He was the first African American to play in the game of the NBA. Lloyd played for the Washington Capitals, the Syracuse Nationals, and the Detroit Pistons. He is an Army veteran and played 9 seasons and won the NBA title in 1955. Uh, the Southwest Division is the Willis Reed Trophy. Reed, of course, a graduate of Grambling State, is the only HBCU graduate to be named the MVP and the Finals MVP. Reed played his entire career with the Knicks, winning 2 championships, a 7-time NBA All-Star and 5-time All-NBA selection. Reed was the Rookie of the Year in 1965 and was named to the league's 50th as well as the 70th, which is the one that just passed 70th anniversary team. The Northwest Division trophy will be the Sam Jones Trophy. Of course, Jones is a graduate of North Carolina Central University and won more championships than any HBCU graduate who has played in the NBA. He won 10 championships as a member. Of course, he's going to be on 1 or 2 teams: the Boston Celtics or the Los Angeles Lakers, in which he was a member of the Boston Celtics from 1957 to 1969. And it was also a 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA selection, and he is a part of the league's 25th, 50th, as well as the 75th anniversary team. Jones was nicknamed the Shooter for his ability to hit a clutch shot in the championship runs. He stood for the rights of African Americans in the league and in the country during the pivotal time in the 1960s. And of course, lastly, one of the best divisions in the NBA, the Pacific Division, the Chuck Cooper Trophy. Of course, Chuck Cooper was one of the first African Americans played in the NBA. He was selected to the 14th overall pick in the 1950s NBA draft, a veteran of the Navy. Shout out to the Navy, the shipment. And he played 6 seasons in the league for the Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks, and the Detroit Pistons. So 6 trophies, all predicated upon African Americans as a tribute to their contributions. Of course, shout out to 2 of the 6 U.S. Armed Force veterans, in which, of course, that's a even bigger accomplishment as well. Those trophies. I hope the Lakers get to see a lot of that Cooper Award going forth. We need that Cooper Award in our life. Um,
I think that's great.
what else do we have? We have a couple of minutes. Well, let's see. Is anything? Uh, no, that's it. That's it for the day that we have. Of course, tomorrow we'll be recapping uh, the loss in the Brooklyn Nets. Um,
We'll be recapping it.
That's
we'll
funny.
make
That is funny. That's real funny. You see
I
how you
got
got to
that.
throw that in there, CC? That is that we will not be recapping that.
we had that recap, of course, the
We will
games
not be.
yesterday. Maybe some insight on a couple, maybe a couple more coaches take a L. Maybe some insight to more of what we have been going on with the Lakers. Then, but WNBA action, a couple of things. So we greatly appreciate y'all checking us out this late, being in formation with us. As we know, as I stated before, Cornelius will be with us all week as he takes his break with us, his spring break with us,
That's
talking,
what's up.
educating us on this thing as we know in sports. So feel free, check us out this evening. Be sure to check out. Matter of fact, go ahead, Cornelius. What's going on with the stimulate with your mind show today?
Check us out today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yes, today, like I said yesterday, I have mortgage and tips on the show from Mr. Ed Green, talking from Mortgage Connections, talking about the housing market today in today's climate. That'll be a great show to check out.
Yes, of course. Check it out. iHeartRadio. Good insight as it goes and speaks and gives information. The information, knowledge is power. Without it, you we will be lost. Uh, look forward to, like I said, check it out tomorrow. Same time, 09 1100. Get some insights, some things. Talk about a couple of things. Institute some stuff. You never know who we may have on the show. We might have some special guests pop up. That when we wasn't scheduled initially. We look forward. We got some other shows that we got that we're looking on getting some guests on to talk about some somewhat off topic stuff, but when we get to that bridge, we'll basically let y'all know. Um, Bishop, any words before we jump up out of here, bro?
Oh no, man! First, I want to thank all for all those who tuned in today, man. We appreciate you, to the Freddys, the Anthony Prices, the AP Apple Whites Key. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all, Freddie, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the First Formation. Also, thanks goes out to CC for being with us this week, man. We definitely appreciate him for being on the show and spitting a little bit about this thing we love, we call sports. And man, y'all enjoy y'all Tuesday. That's all I got, bro.
All right, high speeds. Greatly appreciate y'all coming out. See y'all at formation tomorrow at this point. Show attention. Fall out. We greatly appreciate y'all and see you tomorrow.